Disclosure, I am a diehard Cowboys fan. I have been pretty much since I knew what football was.
Hey, I think Scott has joined us. Hey, Scott.
Hey,
Excellent.
what's going on, guys?
The grilling fool is here. And so, what do you have? You've got a grill. You've got your grill fired up.
Oh yes, oh
Do
yes.
you, do you never? Do you ever never have your grill fired up?
Um, yeah. Well, let's see. I've had a pretty good weekend of meat. Well, let's just call it meat. Let's see. Yesterday, I prepped a brisket that I'm going to smoke tomorrow, and I got it marinating right now. And I did a slab of ribs. I did a basically a competition between two, side by side between two different jerk marinades, and got myself a couple lunches out of that. And then after that, I cooked a prime grade bone-in ribeye, and the wife and I split. That was just a monster and just ridiculously good. If you've never had prime grade meat,
Oh, we are in the wrong place, Jeff.
it is. It is. I
You're
can't even
right.
describe it. The fat is like butter. It's just got a different flavor. It almost ruins steaks. But I'm gonna come close with this dry aged steak I've got sitting right over here that's ready to go on a. Let's see if we can see this. Can you see?
So,
Can you see that? That says about 700 degrees,
holy
and
cow!
that's above the grill grate. So that's probably more like 8 or maybe 850 right on the grill grate.
When I get my Weber grill up to about 500 and I start seeing flames, I begin to panic.
500,
Yeah,
500 for wussies. Actually,
apparently so. That's what I sear my steak at. So I don't know.
can you see my grill right there?
Oh yeah, what do you
Yeah.
got like blue? You got like you got like glow lights in there.
Well, I got a little LED light right here. I'm gonna do a quick brush down. Always clean the grill. Little brush, and here's what I've got. Can you see that?
Oh my gosh, look at that steak. I didn't know we were going to have a live demonstration here.
Live
We
demonstration,
got
buddy. We're cooking
football.
gas right
We
here.
got the ES market here. We
So
got
all I've
grilling.
done with this,
This is live theater.
this is all I've done with it. I put a little salt and a little bit. This is called a Code 3 Spices Grunt Rub. It's just a nice little steak rub, and these guys give a lot of money back to charity. They support first responders and um, veterans organizations, like Backstoppers and Wounded Warrior and things like that.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I mean, they're now I could call it's a great rub. It's a better cause.
And just
So you ready?
go ahead. Just by the
All right.
way, anybody in the chat room, this is Scott Thomas. He's with grillandfools.com out of St. Louis, Missouri. And we've invited him on the show tonight to do a little grilling with us for the Sunday Night Theater.
So here we got this steak now. When you put it on, this side that's been on the plate is all wet. All right. But the side that's up is fairly dry, and that's going to give you better grill marks. So if I just take this and set that right there, you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, so you have that at 700 degrees. You're searing it?
7, maybe 800, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I keep setting my beer over there. Now, if I don't melt my laptop here, well, this should be a pretty fun demonstration.
That looks good. Hey, are you? So you're searing that? Is that? Are you not reverse searing it, right, Scott?
No, I usually do reverse sear in bigger cuts, like pork loin or pork tenderloin, something like that, where I smoke it first and then sear pork steaks, which is something that's big in the Midwest here, but not necessarily in other areas. But
Right.
this is gonna. I like my meat really rare, so this is gonna be sear and then plated. I mean, I'm not even gonna mess around with anything beyond that.
Okay.
So this is just gonna stay on this grill for 2 to 3 minutes like this, and then we're gonna rotate it, and then we're gonna flip it and repeat. And for me, that's done. Most people like to cook a little longer to get it, medium rare or medium, but I'm gonna cook this sucker to rare, get it some nice, awesome grill marks on there, and eat. I might bow out for that point because eating is really good video.
Yes, and if you better eat that thing. That's for sure.
So we
At
are.
the beginning of the year, I'm going to start a low carb diet. I think I'll start with steaks every day.
I do eat a pretty low carb diet. I mean, and I do eat a lot of steak. Yesterday I had steak and ribs. It was great.
Fantastic. I ate at a restaurant over in London yesterday that it was supposedly an American restaurant,
Yeah.
and they didn't have too much to offer. They had some pulled pork, and it wasn't like home.
Really? So that was supposed to be an American in London, England, or
Yes, in London, there was an American restaurant near our hotel, and we thought we'd give it a try. And
yeah,
I was wanting some meat, some barbecue or
you have
something.
burgers and chips.
They did have very good chips. They had great bread, good chips at the restaurant, but their barbecue beef was lacking.
Huh? Maybe they should call me or check out the website.
There you go,
They should
grillandfools.com.
check out the website.
Teach
Yeah,
them how to be American.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is that I don't know what kind of meat do they get over there? I mean, do they get good steak? Do they get good? I mean,
No, they have quite a few steak restaurants over there, and we did have a steak restaurant, and some of the steak was good. They even had good Italian restaurants that we tried that was very good. About the only thing English we had was breakfast. We had an English breakfast.
no tea and crumpets.
No, I was able to get the wife to skip the tea and crumpets.
all right, I'm gonna take a peek under here. Let's see how we're looking. All right, we're getting a nice char there. So all I'm gonna do here now is I'm just gonna rotate this 45 degrees, okay? And then we're gonna get those. Everybody, the holy grail of grilling steaks is the coveted crosshatch grill mark, and this should get it to us. So it was on here 2.5, 3 minutes maybe, and I
Right.
rotate,
Right.
repeat the process, and then we'll do it again on the other side. And then for me, because I just need to kind of knock the hooves and the horns off and walk it near the grill, and then I'm pretty happy with the doneness. So
So
for me, that's done.
so what do
Just
you
make
what
sure. Just make sure it's not still kicking, right?
so Scott, what do
If
you
I got to stab it a couple times, I'm okay with that. I got a knife. That's what it's for.
Awesome.
Hey, we have a question in the chat room for you, Scott.
Okay.
He says, "Do you have a branding iron with your initials on it?"
I do.
Awesome.
I do.
Do-
I knew that.
Do you add salt and pepper to it with your rub as well, or anything?
I did a little coarse salt, and that was it. This rub's got some salt in it, so
Okay.
always season with salt. Even if it's got salt in the rub, when you think you've got enough salt on a steak, you need to add more. You hit it with a nice heavy coarse salt and let it sit on a plate for a half hour, 45 minutes outside. Let that salt kind of dissolve into the meat, tenderize a little bit, bring
Right.
some juices out.
So,
Most people don't season enough. That's the biggest mistake they make with steak is they don't season enough.
so have you gone down to a Rams game in St. Louis and tailgated and took care of everybody?
Not I haven't tailgated. Well, I've tailgated for Rams where I haven't cooked, but we did Mizzou in Illinois a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Right when we launched the website, we went down and we basically cooked like $700 worth of food and just handed it out with business cards with the website name on it. And it was we cooked 20 slabs of ribs and all kinds of appetizers and stuff like that. Just handed them out to people. Said, here you go, come to the website. We made a lot of friends that day.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
I'm sure. That's awesome. So I've got a question for you, Scott. About what's the benefit of rotating the meat the way that you.
So by rotating it, I get more of the cross section, which is the browning of the outside of the meat, and that's called the Maillard effect, which is the caramelization of the proteins, which makes them sweeter and more flavorful. Which is why we always brown or sear, meat, and that because it tastes better. So
Right.
So this is the Maillard effect on a steak. When you're cooking on a grill that's hot, if you do like a cast iron pan, you can get even more browning on there. And some people, they swear by only cooking with cast iron pan to do a steak, and that's a fine way of doing it. Problem is getting the cast iron as hot as the rest of the grill. and it just adds a lot longer to the process.
Right, right, makes sense.
Well, we got a lot of people in the chat room talking about the grilling here. Vester said
cooking on
Vester said he worked for a chef for a few years.
What's that?
Oh, Sunny says she'll put her barbecue up against any of you.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Good job, Sonny.
She's throwing the gauntlet down.
All right, I'm gonna take a little peek under here and see how we're looking. All right, you guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's see the grills.
All right.
Grill marks.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah.
How's that look?
That looks
I
awesome.
swear to God, if I drip fat all over my Mac, that'll be an epic story tomorrow. So that's one side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on here. Let that sucker.
I don't think I can think right now.
All right.
I'm getting closer to my screen.
Right, I'm actually gonna close the lid here for just a second, and I will turn this around and sit down and. So, by the way, I'm cooking. If anybody wants to know what I'm cooking on a charbroil true infrared. I was not a gas guy. I was actually a charcoal snob for a very, very long time. And then Charbroil said, "We want to change your opinion," and sent me this. Well, they've sent me now a couple of these grills. And then I also had kids, and I found that, you know what? I don't have time to smoke briskets all day, and normally I'm doing one tomorrow, but so I cook more on this thing than I do on anything else now. The charcoal snob has been converted to a now go both ways.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I like the Weber grill that I have, and it's so easy and convenient. I can have that steak on in a matter of like 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes. Fire up, get all 3 burners going, and have it on there in 3-4 minutes, off in 7 minutes, and close it down. And it's amazing how fast it is. And I've always had good luck with my Weber grill anyway.
Yeah, the only thing with the Weber is it's not infrared, so you're not. This is actually. They did some sort of study, and it's juicier. The meat on an infrared grill is juicier because it uses radiant heat as opposed to convection heat. So I tell people is like, hey, you know what? Just if you're going to do gas, just get infrared. Just no matter what you do, get infrared.
Interesting. That's something I did not know about. I'm sure that's a few $100 more Benjamins than what I spent for my Weber.
This one runs about $400.
Oh well, that's about what I spent on my Weber.
Yeah, this one's about 4. This is a 3 burner with a side burner, so total of 4, but 3 main burners, and it's outstanding. I use, like I said, I use it all the time.
Very good, very good. And
good stuff. Yeah.
So are you, Scott? You a Cardinal fan in St. Louis?
Oh my God, I made the comment yesterday. See, I did I had ribs. I did the brisket. I did, and then I watched Mizzou spank Georgia in Georgia. Blues beat. And I said if the Cardinals win the night, I might walk around with a permanent boner all day, and I have had a hard time getting in and out of the car today. 2-0 against the Dodgers, and after all that crap about the Cardinals are terrible fans, where they think they're all cocky, they think they're the best fans in baseball. Well, we didn't say that. We didn't. Peter Gammons and Jason Stark said that. You know what I mean? Nobody walks into the stadium going, nudging their buddy, hey, man, we're the best fans in baseball. Isn't that great? Nobody says that here.
No.
Did you guys read that article that guy wrote?
No, I didn't see. Just see
Jeff,
it or
did you
read
see
it.
Which one was that?
The guy wrote about, he was an LA fan. LA, guy said St. Louis Cardinal fans suck, and they call themselves.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're the top 10 payroll. Yeah, they're, whatever. We have a $100 million payroll, and LA's got a $220 million payroll. Nice, right? Jeff, what are you drinking there, buddy? That looked awfully blue.
It's tropical punch Kool-Aid.
A little disappointed in you, Jeff.
It's got a little dash of spice to it, but
mine's the local Diet Dr. Pepper. I've been craving this since I've been gone from London.
I'm guessing neither of you work for the government and are off for Columbus Day tomorrow.
Well, no, the market is. I'm pretty sure the market is open all day tomorrow, unless somebody in the chat room um,
Well,
can ask me, can correct that. I think the stock market's open all day tomorrow. Matter of fact, I even saw that New York opened up the Statue of Liberty. They decided to pay for the Statue of Liberty, funding it themselves.
St. Louis was trying to do that with the Arch, and so was Mount Rushmore, I believe.
Yeah, well, apparently it did happen with Statue of Liberty. Yeah, market is. Yeah, market is open. You scared me when you said Columbus Day. I thought, oh, maybe there's a shortened market tomorrow, but the market is getting hammered overnight tonight because of the government shutdown, and apparently there was no consensus over the weekend of any deal and no deal in sight, and the deadline for this shutdown and for the debt limit is Thursday the 17th. So the market is not real happy with our politicians right now, and that's to be expected.
Neither are the rest of us.
Yes.
Where's my chart at?
What's one of Congress's first jobs? What their major responsibilities? Passing a budget. Oh wow, hasn't happened in 3 years. If I went into work tomorrow and said, you know what, I'm just not going to do my job for the next 3 or 4 years because I have a bias against whatever you're doing, guess what? I'm fired.
Well, and they probably won't pass a budget here. They're just going to extend it down the road another year or two, like they always do.
Right.
Wait and give it to the next person in line.
And we'll have another fiscal cliff in 3 months? They'll get something passed for 3 months or 6 months, and then we'll do it all over again.
Yeah.
How many fiscal cliffs have we had in the last year?
We've had probably at least there was 2 in last year, one about the same time, and they pushed it off to the end of December, like the 31st, and then we got through that deadline. Now we hit this deadline, and they're talking about maybe extending it again to the end of the year, or maybe a 1-year extension. So
yeah. I saw that too.
Has anybody thought, hey, how about you babies, crybabies, do your jobs and shut the hell up? I don't know. It's just me.
Well, they just need to get in a room and not come out until they have an answer. And if that takes until Thursday, that's fine. But them taking off over the weekend, and that makes everybody else kind of mad.
I told you, Charlie. It should be like
plate, so I will be right back.
All right.
I told you it should be. That steak looks delicious.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to break out the grill this week. It's supposed to rain here in Dallas the next couple days. I apparently brought London weather back with me, so I'll have to wait till the weather clears. ES here is trading at 85 and a quarter, just 84. Well, right now 84. It looks like 84.50 is the VPOC most balanced price of the session right now tonight. So they're probably going to trade back to there. The value area low is down at 83.75. Value area high of the evening is up at 87. So it seems like on Sunday nights, the first hour and a half, there's usually some action. Obviously, with the gap down, we had some action. We traded down to 80. What was the low here? 80. Let me go look up here. What was the low?
Is this the official stake cam of the StockJocknRoll?
It is right now. So the low is 81.50, and the pivot or the support one is at 80, basically 82. And so we held that kind of the S1 pivot, and we seem to be kind of trading a little weak right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we head back down toward that 81 area again.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's just,
you guys
that's
ready
just
for
1680.
The other side of this?
And I'm looking for a potential pullback down into 1660. If we get 1660, then that's an area I'm going to start getting interested again.
How's that look?
Oh yes. Now, what was that type of steak? Was it, you said ribeye?
This is a dry aged, dry aged ribeye.
Dry aged ribeye.
Yeah. Oh, I just dripped on my mouse pad on my Mac. That's nice. Let me see if I can get that up without moving the. Delicious. All right, so most people, after they do this, what I tell people is you pull it off the side with no heat. So you turn. I have 3 burners on. I'd leave one off, or this upper rack up here. Can you see that? It's an upper rack right here.
Yeah.
And I would put the meat up there and close the lid. And after about 4 minutes, it take it from rare to medium rare. 8 minutes to take it to about a medium. Me, I like it bloody.
So after you flip it with the grill marks, do you flip it any more times, or you just put it on there for that 4 or 5 minutes after the?
That's it. Just put it aside with no heat, and bake it basically the rest of the way to the desired doneness. Right now it's a perfect rare, and like I said, 4 minutes off the direct heat, but still inside the grill where it's baking. 4 minutes takes it to medium rare. 8 minutes to medium. 12 minutes medium well. After that, you burned it. Who cares? So but to hear, most people, there's a misconception about steak is that what I did is I just seared or sealed in the juices. That's actually a fallacy.
Right.
That's not searing in the juices or sealing them. And what happens is right now that steak is sitting there resting, and because those juices, inside that steak, when it came off the grill, are in an excited state. They're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, and if I cut that steak immediately, juices are going to run all over the plate.
Right.
Let them rest. They slow down, and they redistribute throughout the meat.
Right.
So on a steak that size, 2, maybe 3 minutes, and then slice into it. If you're doing something bigger, like a giant porterhouse, or you're doing even say you're doing a brisket, let that sucker rest for 30 minutes. A whole tenderloin, or a whole prime rib, that's a good 20-minute rest.
Right.
And just let it calm down. That's how you keep the juices in the meat. Is just to let it rest, man. Let it chill.
And that 2 or 3 minutes is after you pull it off the grill?
Yeah.
See, I always thought you needed almost like 10 minutes.
Not for a steak. Not for one steak. I'm talking for for something bigger. Yes, you might be 10. Like a prime rib.
Right.
You're doing a whole prime rib and maybe 3 bones. Prime rib is really just a standing rib roast. It's not really prime, but that's what we call it. You might want to just do 20 minutes for that. But for a steak, 2 to 3 minutes is about all you need.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. I will definitely be having a steak toward the end of this week. I typically get New York strips from Costco. That's where I get mine from.
You know what? And I just did something. I got a local sponsor here, a meat market called Maticers, and they're great. And they asked me to do just a quick, cook some steaks, take a pictures for Facebook. And I love the New York strip because you can get them thick,
right,
but not gigantic. Like if you were to get a steak this thick, there was a porterhouse. It's as big as a plate.
Yeah.
And try to cook that for 8 people. That's like a car payment right there. But you can get smaller strips, really thick, and cook them just beautifully, without having to, put a piece of meat the size of a hubcap, on somebody's plate. A ribeye, ribeye can be huge. These are smaller, which is why, dry age. I don't want to get, can afford a giant steak. Those aren't cheap. But I love ribeye, and after that, it's New York strip. It's not even close.
So we have somebody in the chat room asking about your website. What is it? And it's grillinfools.com, and I'll go ahead and post a link in here. And Scott, what's your Twitter handle?
It's grillinfool singular on Twitter, but there's no second G on grilling. It's grillin. We're very informal. We're good old grillers. What our shtick is our elevator pitch, if you will, is that we are step by step, picture by picture, foolproof instructions on how to grill. If you go to any cookbook, any website, or 99% of them, you have a list of ingredients, some instructions, and that pretty picture at the end. Here's what it looks like when it's done. But what if you're doing a brisket for 9 hours,
right,
and you use a lot of brown sugar in your rub? It's going to look pretty black halfway through. It'd be like, I burnt it. No, you didn't. It's actually fine. So we do, we'll do it every hour. We'll take a picture. We've done everything from lettuce to whole hog, and I've taken, whole hog, taking a picture every hour. Shane, here's how it looked, and here's how I prepped it, and here's how I skinned it, and here's exactly what I did. So, basically what we try to do is get people who only do burgers and brats on their grill, and I'm like, listen, try this. And our greatest compliment is when somebody said, I've only done this in my, I don't do much, hot dogs and burgers, and then I tried X, and it was great because you guys had it on the website, and I followed your instructions and they worked, and then now I'm going to try Y. That's great. That's what we want.
Right. Forgot what.
But you guys, you grill speaking of your laptop, you could probably grill that too because you do everything, right? I mean, you grill fruit.
Yep.
You've done lettuce.
Yep. That's the number one thing that draws people to the site is the grilled romaine lettuce. We're grilling fools. We got steak and brisket and ribs and pulled pork and all stuff. Lettuce. Everybody wants to come to see the lettuce.
Okay, you've got to talk about this though, because this is probably my favorite article on the website. Using the blowtorch.
The blowtorch ribs?
Yes.
Yes. When somebody said you got to try this. What's that?
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody cook with a blowtorch before, but
they said you got to try this. And I'm like, try what? Like it's a blowtorch, and I'm like, well, you had me at blowtorch. I'm doing this no matter what it is. So I think in the same week I blowtorched ribs and deep fried ribs. So it was a good week. Basically, I took a kind of a sweetened jelly kind of a paste of I think it was like apricot preserves, apple jelly, and like some hot pepper jelly, and I made and some Worcestershire sauce, and I kind of mixed it up into like a heavy, and I microwaved it a little bit to soften up the jellies,
right?
The gelatin. Spread it on the ribs after I smoked them, and then you hit it with this blowtorch, and it caramelizes and actually gets a kind of a crust. I mean, they're like crunchy.
Right.
Oh man, the texture, the flavors, it's out. You got sweets and you got spices. Oh man, it's a great flavor profile.
I thought that was the greatest thing in the world whenever I saw that.
Yeah, and I had this blowtorch, and I was like, oh, why did I never think to use this on something I'm grilling? I mean, come on.
That's interesting.
Why wouldn't you? And who wouldn't cook with a blowtorch?
That's right. I just said as soon as they started mentioning, like, you had me a blowtorch. Done. Whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is, I'm doing it. I'm grilling with the blowtorch.
So did you have to put on like a welding mask or anything like that?
No, it's really. You get this little. You get a blowtorch, and there's people going, I don't know a blowtorch. What's that run? You know what that runs? Like $8. You go to any home improvement store, right? A hardware store, and you get this blowtorch that attaches to a canister of propane. Propane's like $3, and the little torch thing attachment is like $5. How could you? Come on, man.
I have a question for you, Scott.
What's that?
All right, so traders, for some reason, also love to grill and barbecue, and I don't know what the fascination necessarily behind it is. And I find myself doing this too. Anytime I grill, I have to snap a picture and I have to put it on Instagram or something and tweet it. And I've seen several traders, they'll have, I've even seen some trader websites, they'll have a little section dedicated to grilling. So what's up with the food porn? Why do we get so excited to see someone
want to share? Did you see how great
something?
That
is it just
those grill marks looked?
They made me like whet my appetite.
I do not want to share that with the world, man. Look what I did. I took fire and I took meat and I made something great. It's fantastic.
Grabby in the room says food makes us feel good, and yes, it definitely does. Unfortunately, it's a stress reducer for a lot of us.
So that's basically what I did. I started this website because I was like, you know what? If I start a website, I can deduct on my taxes charcoal and meat.
Well, that's why we're traveling for the Stock Jock and Roll show. I'm deducting every cent I spent going to London.
Right.
You get a vacation out of it at the same time.
And then but here's what happened. Here's a little strange thing happened on the way to the IRS's office to pay my taxes. We started getting publicity, locally and and even nationally now. I write for Sears and I write for Charbroil now, And so then I had to go out and buy insurance and hire a CPA to do my taxes and posting, and I had to incorporate. And so here's my little tax shelter of meat and charcoal, and now I'm hemorrhaging cash.
Right.
So thank God for advertisers now that keep the site, free and allow me to not, hopefully send my kids to private school, because I can't afford to do both, keep a website up and send the kids to Catholic school.
So I think the takeaway that we've got here is
Drink Craftig. Yes, this is one of my sponsors that keeps it free. Drink Craftig.
Yes, I saw. I was looking at your website. I saw that. I kind of like I think it's the Crafted Girl on there. Purity brewed American beer.
Crafted. Yeah. It's Crafted. The Crafted Cutie is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I didn't miss that.
Yeah, we like her a lot. I've yet to meet her. I just see the 2D version of her, but don't tell my wife.
We're not live or anything now.
So the takeaway is, don't grill for sustenance. Grill for tax breaks.
Well, no, I was already grilling for sustenance. I thought, how can I actually double dip here? You know what I mean? I'm going to grill it anyway. But if I take pictures and put it on a website and call it a business, then it's, and I fully expected, 3 years later, just have to change the name and form the, the company and start over, because they'd say, hey man, this is a hobby. This is not really a business. And now it's actually a business.
Right.
So, I've let this steak rest a little too long. I might have to, I don't have a good spot to slice into this bad boy and let everybody see it. Let's see, maybe I can go over here. Maybe I can go over here. Get rid of the old plate.
I've lost track of this football game, but I think the Cowboys just gave up a terrible turnover on a punt.
How's Alfred Morris doing? I really need him to do well.
Yes. Is he? He's on Washington, right? Running back.
Yeah. How's that looking?
I need him to do well too, but I would prefer to see. Good Lord.
Oh. Yeah, that was terrible.
I'm gonna prop this up a little bit. How's that looking? I can't really see.
Yeah. Now, what would you serve to go with that?
I'm not serving anything to go with it. I'm having this in beer.
Hippie in the room says, "Looks good to me." Yeah, I would. Yeah, I agree. That looks good.
How's that?
ES is holding the VPOC area and trying to make a push up. It looks like it may have made a lower high on a 1 minute and maybe a little bit of a double.
How's that look, guys?
Oh, perfect. Oh,
wow.
That's just not fair.
And we did it all live.
Fair.
And I just stripped on my computer again.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
We may not be able to have you on again, Scott, if you're gonna throw that kind of tease out.
No, I think we have to go live with Scott to do this.
I think so.
Yeah.
we need to get Scott to come out to Vegas for the Trader Expo.
You see that?
Oh. Not fair. Not fair at all. Where'd you find this guy?
Oh man. Hold on.
And I guess you're just out on your back porch. Looks like you're well, not your back porch. Looks like your deck.
Yeah. You see?
You know what you need. You know what you need, Scott. One of those.
Like
and
that.
I know this isn't necessarily a staple of grilling, but for the next time that you come on with us, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later, you need one of those chef hats.
No. Chefs are trained. I'm not trained.
No, I was going to bring that up too.
Well, that's just like us, Jeff.
You're entirely self-taught.
We are
entirely self-taught.
Jeff, so are we now. We've never done a show in our life, and we're trying to do some kind of goofy show.
So, what I tell people is that I'm trying to move this light so it's not as obtrusive. Is that basically 25 years of just screwing shit up on the grill? I'm hoping that people don't repeat the same mistakes I do. And then they can do that.
Right.
Oh,
that being tease the hell out of everybody else that's watching with a very
Dry
tasty
age.
steak.
Oh man. Just intensifies all the flavors. Oh, it's so worth it. Although it could ruin steaks for you.
Well, I see on June 20th you posted how to grill the perfect steak, so I'm gonna try to follow that to the T when I grill later this week. And I'll see how that turns out.
Oh,
That means I got to get the grill up to about 600.
yeah. Get it as hot as you can. Leave one side off. You sear it just like I did here,
Right.
and throw it off the side. It doesn't have any heat.
Yep. Yep.
Bake it for 4 minutes, 8 minutes maybe. Oh, and this is almost getting a little redder as the air hits it. It's great.
RPM's gonna be Sonny. RPM's gonna be sorry he missed this. RPM must like barbecue and grilling with us. But who doesn't like it? But I'm definitely gonna have to give this a try. Oh, the Cowboys kept the ball, so it must not have been a turnover.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh,
That's just that end of that steak. Oh, and I'm dripping all over my freaking Mac.
Hey, play the disclaimer, Charlie, and include something about grilling in it also, so that we don't get sued by Scott because he ruins his Mac.
that's right.
for grilling on the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a new Mac every time I grill on the show, guys. I'll just swap the hard drive out between you.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good, guys. Thanks a lot, Scott. This has been fun.
All right, so you guys want to talk about, like stocks and stuff? I mean, isn't that like the primary stock, jock, roll, and grill, right?
That is correct, and we're watching the football game.
Stock, jock, and grill.
Stock, jock, and grill. Yeah. But Johnny would be disappointed that we'd lose the music part. I'd be disappointed to lose the music part. So maybe it's stock, jock, and life, which includes grilling and music.
It's stock, jock, and all things man. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you know what, Scott? Women make the best traders. So
I got it.
I can't discount them. Women make much better
more
traders.
Gratuitous meat porn right here is most women don't cook up a pound something slab of beef like that.
Oh,
ruins their arteries and
yes, yeah.
No.
Sonny says, "No, Sonny, you don't have to leave." Remember,
Sonny can stay.
Sonny can stay.
I want Sonny to stay. I want to see Sonny kick my ass on the grill.
She said she's got good barbecue, I think is what she was saying. And those in the chat room, it looks like the ES is kind of tightening up here and maybe starting to form a little triangle. So kind of watch this, see if we just keep tightening in this little range here. And we haven't gotten above I have a 1 minute chart up that Johnny has and we haven't broke above that 200 day moving average. Very interesting. So is there any questions in the chat room for Scott? Why he's chowing down on his steak while we sit back here and
I can chew and answer at the same time.
Is there any questions in the chat room about any type of grilling or any expert questions you want to get out of the way?
And if you haven't grilled the lettuce, that's my perfect side dish for the steak, because while the steak's resting, I can grill a head of lettuce. It's great. 2 steaks, head of lettuce. That's a perfect meal for 2 people.
So what you said earlier that was romaine lettuce, right?
Right.
That you grill, and so is it like what is that in like the leaf form?
What's in the what?
Like the leaf, like long leaf lettuce
You
type
you
romaine
leave it
stuff.
whole. So you take it whole and you pull the outer leaves away, the really leafy ones that are curling over, and you want to make a giant heart of romaine, okay?
Okay.
And then you slice it lengthwise, one slice, so you have two halves. And then
Right.
you start off flat side down. You just drizzle some oil on it, salt, pepper, a little granulated garlic. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side, okay?
Right.
Take it out to a hot grill, just like I pulled this steak off of, and you put that flat side down and sear it and brown and just caramelize the sugars. Now, most people don't think that there are sugars in lettuce because they've never actually grilled it. And once you grill it, you actually open those up. And then you sear it. It's actually kind of got three sides. You got the flat side and you got the rounded side. So the rounded side, you do it kind of two shots. And you're going to lose a few leaves, that were sliced when they got sliced in half. It's okay. Just get a nice brown char on it, and then take it off. Leave the bases on. I know people don't like the bases full of grit, so leave the bases on until you're done grilling it. Then lop that base off. Throw that away. Chunk the rest of it up. Throw it in a bowl. Drizzle or no more olive oil. You've already got the olive oil in there from when you put it on. Just sprinkle some Asiago or some Romano or something like that on there. Mix it all up and then serve it. And serve it hot. Right when it's hot, it's great. It's got to be an uber hot grill, because if it's not, you're just going to wilt all the lettuce.
Let me interrupt you just for a moment here.
Sure.
In the chat room, Oler Andy had mentioned that China PMI and PPI is due out at the bottom of the hour, which would be at 8:30 Central Time. So that may be also a little bit of the reason that we're just kind of trading sideways here. We may be waiting on some results on the China data for September. September CPI numbers coming out, and so when those come out, we may get a little bit more action here in the market.
That makes sense.
Are we going to get those numbers though?
Yeah, we'll get those numbers when they come out.
That's not going to be a shutdown issue.
No, it's from China, man. They're not shut down. They're just numbers we can't believe. They're just made up. Hey, they're just made up numbers like we might have right now.
They hired a bunch of guys from Enron to do their books, is what you're saying?
Yes. I posted a link in the room to some information and some charts about the economic CPI coming up for September. They're expected 2.8% increase, and so we'll see if we hit those expectations.
The farm produce continued to climb in 36
So
days.
let's ask you that: is that a good place to be investing right now in foreign stocks, particularly China, with what's going on in the United States right now?
I missed your thought there.
So is that a good? Let me ask you guys: is that a good place to be investing right now with the shutdown and the fears of what's going on in the United States? Is foreign stocks, and in particular, stuff in China?
It seems like right now, it's the Japanese yen is seeming to be where a lot of people are flocking some of their money at the moment. Last year, everybody was moving their money out of Europe and out of China to the U.S., and so that's one of the reasons the U.S. market has done well. On top of Ben Bernanke spending all his money, but right now, over the last few weeks, it seems like the Japanese yen has some people have been flocking a little bit to the Japanese side. That's where some money has been going right now, and so that's all I know. A lot of people have also just kind of moved some things to cash until things clear up and straighten up.
So what happens if we default in a few days?
You don't want to know. It would not be pretty. It definitely will not be a pretty picture.
Is that the true deadline that we're looking at? That it's all going to get resolved before that?
Well, let's see. The deadline is Thursday the 17th. I don't know what time that is. If that is midnight that becomes the 17th, or midnight at the end of the 17th.
Right.
Is is Ted Cruz gonna stand on the floor and talk for 21 hours, right up until midnight?
Up until that time, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I may have to make another cake for. We made a cake for the government shutdown. We had a little party. I may have to make another cake for debt ceiling crisis.
So, what? Say nothing gets done, and we default. What can we expect to happen? Opening bell the next day. What are we going to see?
I would think you would see some serious damage to the stock market. I'm not sure if this is. I don't believe we've ever defaulted on anything like this in the past. It's always
no, we have.
It's always been concluded or extended in some way.
Right.
But it was certainly the market would send a signal that they are. Also the U.S. could get downgraded as far as
right.
The interest that they're going to have to pay on bonds and things, and so it would not be pretty. It would be great for day traders who are just trading the market, by day, intraday, and they don't care if their market's going up or down. For them, they love this type of environment. But if you're trying to buy some stocks and hold it for a longer period, this makes it much more difficult for you.
So, what can we expect?
So
stock market.
Vestor has said there's never been a default. We've always had these shutdowns, but no defaults.
Right.
Always somehow. So we could still have a shutdown on the 20th, but we make that payment on the 17th.
Yes. Something to that effect. I'm sure as the week progresses, more information will come out exactly, what can happen or what needs to happen as we get, a little closer.
My thoughts on the shutdown and politics in general are there's so much of blaming on the other side. I don't care what side you're on. Everybody blames the other side.
Right,
but
exactly.
If you look at what spending has been since World War II, doesn't matter who's in Congress, doesn't matter who's in the White House, spending goes up every single year, except for 4 years. It happened twice, the 2 years right after World War II when the military, machine sort of wound down, and once during Reagan and once during Clinton. Okay? But every other year it's gone up. Doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republicans in the White House or in Congress or anything like that. So
exactly,
we've learned this about politicians. Doesn't matter what letter they have behind their name, D or R, they still have a P there first, which is politician.
Oh,
so
yes.
Instead of being mad at the other side, which is all we do is blame, call your guy and go, listen, here's what I voted for you to do. I need you to do it. Call your guys first. Hold your guys accountable, and then maybe something else will happen, because all they're doing is blaming the other guy, and it's crap because nobody's getting anything done. So hold your own guys accountable first before you start looking at the other side for blame, because you know what? The blame game gets nothing done. Everybody just stands up and yells at each other, and nothing gets accomplished.
And all is it one
for like how many years now?
Chinese inflation data in terms of the order will go with the
Absolutely.
CPI first.
All it wants to do is to cause you to go vote for a third party.
You know what? Our problem is that we have a system set up, a two-party system, which is we get two terrible candidates almost every place we have because there's no third party.
And you don't vote for the best. You don't vote for the best guy. You vote against the worst guy.
Right. It's looking at two turds and going, which one doesn't smell as bad? I'm going to vote for that one. You just voted for a turd. That's what we do in this country, right, because we have a terrible system. So, you know what? You know who I voted for in the last election? I don't even know his name. He was the libertarian guy, because you know what? We need more people voting for the third party.
Still nothing as yet.
Couldn't even tell the guy's name. My vote was a statement. I'm sick of trying to choose between turds.
Oh, the Cowboys just took it to the house.
Oh.
No DeMarco Murray.
So that must mean China is up. See if
because the Cowboys took it to the house?
Yeah, that's got to be it. It's a precursor. This is how the rumors get out there. Someone always knows the number. It's always because of that. And there it is. CPI 3.1%, beat expected 2.8. See, that's it. That is how it's done.
So wait a minute. There's a correlation between the Cowboys return.
3.1% for CPI.
That's
3.1% against an estimated 2.
So there's a correlation between.
Previous 2.6%.
There's a
minus
no, it wasn't
1.3% for
DeMarco Murray.
PPI.
It was
an expected minus 1.4%.
Harris, I think.
The prior of minus 1.
No, DeMarco Murray's already got a touchdown. And I'm playing against him with I got like a 2-point cushion. I'm playing against him with Alfred Morris, who
consumer prices
doesn't look like he's doing much.
Producer prices.
Not
See,
yet.
I've got Alfred Morris too, which is
inflation rises 6.1% year on year,
oxymoron,
1.5% more on month, whilst
Oh, it
non-food
was against
inflation
Redskins.
rises
Touchdown stands.
1.6% year on year.
Awesome.
0.4%.
Yeah, Alfred Morris, 9 carries, 16 yards. Fantastic.
That's like Alfred Morris is J.C. Penney right now.
Well, Jeff, this is.
No, I think David Wilson is more like J.C. Penney right now. He might be done for the season. He might not. We'll see in the next on Monday.
All right, Cowboys. I got
Oh,
my
Randy's-
I got my
oh,
cowboy
Randy's
hat
in
on
the
for
chat.
this.
Old Randy's in the chat room. You can flip it back. They're showing the replay. You might have missed the original touchdown.
That CPI number didn't cause too much to happen in the market.
A quick question for you, Charlie.
Yes.
What do we do? What do you do to bring somebody into
To the hangout.
Yeah.
Right on the top left side, there's a like the second thing down. There's like a plus sign. It says invite people.
Oh, I got you.
You see
Okay. And, yeah, I got it.
that? I think.
And
that's,
so,
I think
can we
that's-
do that without doing video?
I don't think so, unless they don't turn their video on. Unless they just go with their mic.
But do they have that option though? My question is because
Yes,
our
they do.
other special guest will be on here in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, they have the option to not show their video. Certainly, I think.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't know exactly how to do it without seeing the setup, but they do have that option.
Okay. All right.
Sonny
Alright,
says, tell them to put tape over their camera lens.
That's a good idea too.
Yes.
Because we have yeah.
So we may have a second guest on this evening.
We will have a second guest
Oh,
on.
okay, great. Very good.
Well, I'm gonna have to bail on you guys here shortly. Gotta go spend some time with my wife.
Understandable,
Who kindly
Scott.
let me
We,
grill
we,
a
Come
fat
on,
steak.
Scott. Come on.
we appreciate
You
you
gotta go spend time with your wife.
coming on
Yeah.
and giving us a demonstration. That was awesome. I did not expect a live demonstration. That you can't.
You know
beat
what? And Jeff said, "Hey, you guys, you want to do something tonight?" And I bought this steak and I was going to grill it a couple nights ago and I didn't. And I was like, you know what? I've got the steak sitting there. I can light this grill. I could do this demonstration in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, So then he goes, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, all right, I don't have any lighting out here. I had this shopless floodlight over here. And the bulb was bad, so I ran to Lowe's to go buy a bulb. And in like the last 20 minutes, I had I was checking the lighting and moving stuff around and trying to come up with a way to do this. I hadn't thought about actually eating it. I was like, I don't know where the hell I'm going to sit. The shop light in front of it, so because if I just had it just shining on the grill, it completely washed me out. I look like an alien.
Right.
I have a cloth diaper hanging on the front of it to dilute the light. And I was like, at any moment this might actually catch on fire because that's just a ridiculously hot bulb.
Well, later this week, Scott, I will tweet
So,
you my
again,
grill
Charlie,
marks.
You need to play the disclaimer because now we've got a grill. We've got a potential fire hazard there. Now we've got somebody on the show with a cloth diaper in front of the light.
You know what?
I mean,
Send them
we
to my-
are completely open to litigation at this point.
Yes.
Send them to my terms of use policy on my website. I have a very snarky intellectual property lawyer who wrote that, basically saying, you look at something these guys did, and you do it and burn your house down. Tough shit. You went to a website called grillandfools.com, and if you did something stupid, who's the fool?
The
You know?
ES is trying to get a push up here, trading at 86.75, pushing up against the 200-day on the 1-minute chart.
We got to get some charts up, Scott.
Oh, we'll put some charts up behind me. Is that what you need?
Well, not behind you, just for you to look at.
Oh, I can put you like the doneness chart and how to test that. You doing the thumb test, that kind of thing.
Go long steak. Buy steak.
You know, let's do a quick. This is a great visual. Before let's do one thing. Have you guys ever done the thumb test?
Yes. I have no idea what I was doing, but I pressed my thumb on it. I don't know what I was supposed to get back.
Okay, so to tell how well a steak is done, you do the thumb test. So you start off, make the OK sign. Okay? You squeeze this fat part of your thumb right here. Come on, Jeff. I want to see you do this.
All right.
All I see for Charlie is his hat, so he's kind of like a, So you squeeze that. See how spongy that is?
Yeah.
That's rare. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, put your middle finger to your thumb and squeeze it again.
Okay, got it.
Now it's a little more firm.
Yep.
Medium rare.
Right.
Now go to your ring finger.
Ah.
Not all the fingers, Jeff. Just one, just your ring finger to your thumb now.
Oh, whoops.
Now it's a little more firm.
Yep.
That's medium. Go to your pinky. It's medium well. Anything beyond that, you burn it, so don't worry about it. No offense to people like a well done. That's fine. But so what you do is you just take your tongs and kind of push on the meat, and you test the resistance. So if the resistance feels like when you're touching the forefinger and your thumb, that's a rare steak. When you get to your middle finger, that's medium rare. That's how you tell. You just give it a little push on there. So you don't have to cut into it to find out if it's what doneness it is. Thumb test.
I have a thought for the next time we can get Scott on the air. We can also go look at the live cattle futures and see what cattle futures are doing, or lean hog or something. Maybe we can do a segment together between hogs and cattle.
You beat me to that, Charlie. So, okay, I've got a quick question for you, Scott.
Sure.
As far as cooking like steak versus pork steak.
Okay. We probably need to elaborate on what pork steak is if people are from more than a couple hundred miles from St. Louis, right?
Well, that's true. So I guess I'll just be generic and say beef versus pork.
Okay.
So my question is, what's the difference in how do you differentiate cooking them? Like, do you use the exact same approach to cooking them?
Generally, when you're cooking pork, you're doing it slower. You want to break down the connective tissues and tenderize it so that it comes out. It's not too chewy.
Right.
And beef. I mean, most people for beef, they're doing steaks or burgers, and you're cooking them pretty fast and a lot higher heat. But then again, you got things like a brisket, which is it's a tough cut of meat that you have to do the same thing and to break down those connective tissues. It takes hours to do it right. It's the hardest thing out there to grill. So
ES is pushing up against the gun. It looks like it might want to push up against test the high of the evening here at 88. 1688 is the high. We may push through that. The Globex high from Friday's session was 1689. If we were to push above that, then we could get it moved back into 1692 area overnight tonight right now. But let's see how we handle the 1688-89 area. It's the area we need to get through. I lost my train of thought. I had a question for Scott, but I lost it.
We were talking pork and beef.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yes, my thought on pork isn't when I've done pork, or at least the things that I've read about, so is more indirect heat as opposed to direct heat, like with the steaks.
Lower, slower,
kind of
indirect.
Like indirect, which indirect is sort of like an oven, kind of like an oven effect.
Right. So on most of your grills, it's you put charcoal, or you turn the burner on one side, you don't turn it on the other. You put your smoke wood and your on the side with the heat. You put your meat on the other, and then you allow it to kind of work its magic at sub 300.
Right.
You know, temperatures. I do a lot of stuff at 300. A lot of people do low and slow at 225, 200. I don't have that kind of time. You know, I do a slab of baby back ribs in 2 hours, and people are blown away by that. They want to fall off the bone. I do it in 2.5 to 3. This is baby back spares. You go a little longer, but no, it's kind of a cost thing if you think about it. The more expensive it is, usually the quicker you cook it. I mean, the steaks are obviously a lot more expensive than what you're going to buy, pork chop or something like that. So you have to kind of cook it slower because it's a tougher cut, and you got to make it kind of more palatable. You know what I mean?
Very good.
And the cheaper you get, the longer it has to cook or braise or whatever. You know, I mean, you buy stew meat, and that stuff's chewy as hell until you simmer it all afternoon in a pot. Then it's great.
Right.
If you try to cook that, just eat that right off the grill, you'd break your jaw. So.
Well, again, appreciate you coming on, and next time we'll coordinate a segment, and I'll plan some of the cattle futures and hog futures ahead of time, and look at some of those charts and have them set up ahead of time.
All right, yeah, and we'll do some crazy stuff. We'll do some. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do some artisan steaks. How about that? That way we can do it fast, and we can do some steaks that are comparatively a lot cheaper than what I paid for this dry aged steak right here.
Right. Yes. But you got to eat it live in front of us.
Yes, I did. But we could do like, and these are gonna. I've written some articles for these for a couple local magazines, but like a steak called Terrace Major,
right,
which is fantastic. It'll blow your mind at how great it is. Flat iron steak. By the way, half the flat iron steak is made out of 2 muscles. One of the muscles is teres minor, so they're actually right next to each other, and they're considered the second most tender cuts of meat outside of the fillet. And what else can we? What's the third steak? We do a chuck eye steak, which is very close to ribeye, but half the cost. But they're hard to find. Look at this.
Oh yeah, I got to get with it with Charlie.
I have a really
something?
wicked pair of cowboy boots, but I don't have a hat.
Oh, Jeff's broke out his cowboy hat. Go Cowboys!
I work for skins, so I guess that's what I'm not wearing a cowboy hat right now because I want.
Hoover in the chat room wanted to know what time Europe is open, and Sunny is correct. It's 3 o'clock Eastern time in the morning, 2 Central. Is when Europe opens.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna bow out here. You guys talk all that crazy money. I got a full belly, and I'm almost out of beer, and I want to go watch some Breaking Bad with my wife. We're still 3 seasons behind. So.
All right. Enjoy. Thank you very much, Scott, for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. Join us again. It was great.
How about them Redskins? Let's go. Come on. I need some scoring on the ground. All right.
Don't make me come through the screen.
Oh. Right. Are you guys really both Cowboy fans?
Yes, for the time being, yes.
I've been a Cowboy fan my entire life.
Well, since Cowboy Stadium is about 15 minutes from me, for the past 10 years, I've slowly become a Cowboy fan. But I haven't given up my Rams presence. They just haven't done much in the last 10 years to, keep my
They looked at Houston today.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go watch the highlights of that game and see how they actually did it.
They were good today, yeah.
So, but you still have a problem with Tavon Austin is not being used at all. They traded up for the pick, and the running joke nowadays is that Tavon Austin is a chess piece, and the offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer is playing checkers. So there's your philosophical.
That's like the line about the government, Scott. They shut down the circus, but they fired the clowns.
Or they shut down the circus and the clowns are running the show. I think that's the better one, but I heard that today that Tavon Austin's chess piece, Schottenheimer's playing checkers. So
I like that one too. Hey, thanks for coming on tonight. Really appreciate it. Always fun to chat with you. I think everybody out there listening really enjoyed that, and we got some excellent grilling tips. Very awesome.
By the way, if anybody has a problem, they don't want to throw that steak on the grill, they'd rather do it in the oven or whatever, want to broil it or what. How long did that take us to do that?
Less than 10 minutes.
9 minutes.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
For a nice rare steak.
Right.
Yep.
That was it. And I peaked a couple times because it's a little chillier out, so it's gonna cook a little slower. So I had to peak. So like I just you peak, you make sure it's done right, you flip it over, you rotate it, you're done. It's easy. So
Right.
So yeah, now explain investing to people like that, and everything's great.
There you go.
Right. Hey, you can do that too in investing. 8-9 minutes. You make the right trade.
I don't
boom,
know.
Scalp that baby and take your
I
profits.
don't own investinfools.com yet, but maybe I will.
Appreciate your time tonight, Scott.
Well, for everybody out there, Scott Thomas, check out grillandfools.com. You will find out that there is nothing that you can't grill, and there's probably nothing that he can't grill. There's some great tips out there. It's awesome.
And as traders, we have a great time to grill between lunchtime, between 11 Central and 1 Central every day in the market when the market goes to sleep.
You can do a slab of ribs in that much time.
That's
at
right.
least I can.
That's right.
Here's the thing about it. If you can cook it in the oven, I can do it better in a grill. That's all I can say. I don't care what it is. I can do it better on a grill.
Perfect.
All right. Go enjoy Breaking Bad, Scott.
All right. Thanks,
Scott,
guys. You have a good one.
All right.
You take care, Scott.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, Jeff. Looks like ES couldn't push back up against the 1688 yet, and
no, I saw that.
We'll go ahead and take a since it's almost halftime of the game. We'll go ahead and take a music break here. We'll play a couple songs, and we'll come back, and maybe we'll have another guest.
How about we should have another guest here shortly. Let's play this one since we're both adorning cowboy headgear and the Cowboys are playing.
Okay.
George Strait, Cowboys Like Us.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and play our disclaimer as well.
Maybe we might have wanted to play that at the beginning of the show and include some sort of grilling disclaimer so we don't get sued for fire damage, but I think we're all right.
So I'm going to go ahead and play the disclaimer. I'll play Cowboys Like Us and a couple more songs here to take a break and halftime of the game. And I'm going to go get me a drink and a little restroom break. So, and famous designer, welcome tonight. You see you're in the room. And this is the Stock Jock and Roll Show. We are usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central Time. We thought we'd come on this Sunday night and do a kind of a Stock Jock and Roll theater with the football games, some grilling, and checking to see what the markets are doing. So you're listening to the Stock Jock and Roll Show. I will play our disclaimer and play some music.
Perfect.
Trading stocks, futures, options on futures, and retail off-exchange foreign currency transactions involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time.